I have my finger over the over the camera. Hi guys, now it looks a little dark. Let me wipe this off here. Hang on a minute. Let me see what's going on. Hello. Did that help any at all? I don't know. Hi guys, how are you today? I know that we had talked about we were going to focus on dads in the Bible, and we have so many great stories about so many great dads, but I wondered if you've ever heard of the story about Samson. He is one of the most commonly talked about stories, and how his hair and his strength and how amazing Samson was. But do we know who his dad was? That's what I want to talk to you about tonight. I want to ask you and see if you know who is Samson's dad. Now, he was in land of Dan. That is not his dad. That is the land where he lived, the land of Dan. So I want to show you a picture to kind of give you a prelude to this very strong, amazing man. And if you noticed in the picture, it looks like he's wrestling a lion. That is not something that is on my bucket list. It's not something that I want to try to accomplish before my journey on earth is done. So let's find out what's going on with Samson and who is his dad. I'm curious if you know that. This story, I'm going to tell you where it's found, and it is in the Old Testament. And if you remember, we have two sections to the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament. And this story is, let me see, I am so sorry, I'm looking right now, it's in Judges. Judges chapter 13 to chapter 16, and it stops at verse 3. So there's 3 chapters that we have to look at in this story. So, his name is Samson, and this story is titled A Strong Fighter. That's what the story is titled tonight, A Strong Fighter, and let's see if we can find out what's going on with Samson. In the land of Dan, that was a Harley, in the land of Dan, alongside the country of the Philistines, lived a man called Manoah. One day, an angel told Manoah's wife that she would have a son. I think I gave you a hint who the dad was, didn't I? The angel said that the son would begin to save his people from the Philistines. So it sounds like there might be a little bit of controversy between the land of Dan and the Philistine people. So as long as he lived, though, his hair must never be cut. So the stipulation was, I'm going to give you this amazing young man. He's going to be your son, but he can never, ever, ever, ever cut his hair. Wow. I wonder if he ever got a headache having hair that long. So, this man, an angel appeared to Manoah's wife and said she would have a son. So, the dad must be Manoah. When the baby was born, he was named Samson. He grew up to be an extremely strong man. One day, as he was traveling through the country, a lion attacked him. With his bare hands, Samson tore the animal in pieces and left the body lying on the ground. Well, that's pretty strong. Not long afterward, he came that way again. He found that a swarm of bees had settled in the lion's body and that it was full of honey. Samson tore off pieces of honeycomb and ate it as he was walking along. That's pretty awesome. I hope you like honey. If you don't, then you're probably hurting. But hey Cheryl, thanks for jumping on. So he found that a swarm of bees had settled in the lion's body and that it was full of honey. That is kind of a unique feature to have. So let's go back and look at this again. We're in the land of Dan, and it's the country alongside the Philistines, and a man called Manoah and his wife had a son. Their son's name is Samson. So Samson's dad was Manoah. The stipulation on giving this amazing gentleman to these parents was that he could never, ever, ever cut his hair. As long as he lived, his hair must never be cut. So they named him Samson, of course, and he was very strong. He wrestled a lion and defeated the lion with his bare hands. Then he looks in the lion's body and finds a honeycomb. And he like tears off the pieces in the honeycomb and just eats it as he's walking along. Just calling a day's work. I just killed a lion today. Found a swarm of bees. Got the honey. Just walking along having some honey as I take a walk. What? That's Samson. That's how amazing he was. Samson made up a riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet. No one could guess the answer until he gave a hint. Then they knew. What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? Everyone in all of the land had heard how Samson fought against the Philistines. Even though he had been tied in strong ropes, everyone in the land had heard how the Philistines had locked Samson. They locked him in the city, but at midnight, Samson slipped down to the heavy locked gate in the city wall. He pulled up the gate, post and all, and put them on his shoulders. What? So not only did he defeat a lion, he's eating honey out of the lion's belly. He gets kind of, what does it say? They had him locked in the Philistines in the city. The Philistines locked him up in the city. At midnight, he slipped down to the heavy locked gate in the city wall. Not only did he open the gate, but he pulled the posts up too. And he put them on his shoulders, just all in a day's work. I think I'll just walk around with some big heavy metal or some big cement posts on my shoulders today. Then he carried, now get this, he carried the heavy gate to the top of the hill. When the Philistines went to look for him, Samson was gone. How strong is that? I don't know anybody that's strong. That is like supernatural strength. Let me show you a picture of this guy. He's carrying that wall and the post, just carrying it around. That's what God could do. He can carry us through anything that we're going through. And I like to say that sometimes we go through stuff that we feel like is just stronger than we're able to handle. But I think that in this story we realize that if God gave this man strength to carry a city wall and the post with it, to defeat a lion with his own hands, he can handle what we're going through. We just need to be faithful. We need to stay positive. We need to live our lives as an example of how God lived his life for us. So make sure you're kind, you're persistent with your faith, that you seek God's will, seek God's advice for what he wants you to do with your life, and obey his laws. Not very hard, is it? Seems like it can be sometimes, but you've got this. I believe in you. Be strong, be bold, and be faithful. And if you were as strong as this guy, I have got to see what city walls you're picking up. So tonight our story was about Samson and his dad named Manoah. And that's just another dad in the Bible that we got to share with you tonight that you may not have heard of before. You might have heard of Samson, but did you know who his dad was? Don't forget, Father's Day is this upcoming weekend, and I want you to be very cognizant of the time that you spend with your moms and dads, and that you take time out, hey Paula Parrish, and that you take time out to let them know that you love them. Because all too often we get caught up in our day-to-day activities, and we forget to let people know what they mean to us. So let them know that your mom and dad know that you love them, and for Father's Day, do something special just for him that you wouldn't do otherwise. Do something just super special for you. That is the story for tonight. Samson's dad. He lived in the land of Dan. His dad's name was Manoah. Samson was not allowed to cut his hair, but we will find out tomorrow what happened with that rule. And I want you to know that this man was so strong that I would love to meet somebody as strong as him and just see how he has been blessed in his life, and is he giving God the glory for that. You guys have an amazing evening. It was so nice to have you join in with me tonight. Be faithful, be kind, be strong, but above all, be bold. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, And info at theboldmovement.com is our email address. We would love to hear from you. Have a great evening. Take care. Be bold. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, guys.